Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Attorney Shaparali coming for a new video on U visas because it seems like this is something that is very interesting for many people who have not really looked into it. A U visa, basically, you can refer to my previous videos or the link on our website, attorneyonair.com or piralilaw.com. The crimes, when you're victims of certain crimes, you can actually file for a U visa. The biggest thing, before I start, of course, anything I'm going to tell you today is purely educational. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions, and you can call our office 510-742-5887. One part of the U visa, it's a two-part process. The first, you have to get the certification from the authorities, like either the police department, the DA, or even sometimes the Department of Labor. And oftentimes you will get the runaround. So this video is kind of how we convince, or you can convince the police to really kind of sign on it, because many times you will see we have cases all over the United States, and oftentimes in some states they are not even familiar what is a U visa. And many times you will see the police officer, he will be worried that he will be liable if he signs on a U visa. But the truth is far from that. They are not liable, because as long as you help the police, the U visa is a federal law, and it was attached with VAWA, 1992, Joe Biden rule, by the way. And many times, because people don't know about it, and the police themselves don't know about it, or the authorities don't know about it in cities or counties, where this is very rare or there are few immigrants, they will be reluctant to sign on it. Even in California, many times, although California has a rule that they have to basically kind of look into it and sign on it most of the time if you fall into that purview of a U visa. Now, convincing them requires knowledge and understanding of the law and understanding the process of the U visa. And this is where we can help you. We have done many of those U visas, and many times it's not straightforward like people think. You just go there, they will sign on it. Sometimes they do, I'm not saying no. But most of the time, more and more now, they're worried about signing on there. For example, in conservative areas, you will have big problems to get a signature. Although if you are lucky, you fall into someone who is a little bit more understanding and liberal, they will sign on it. However, ultimately, most of them do sign on it, and I don't remember any case. I remember one case which took out 1 year almost to get that signature, but ultimately they did sign on it. And also, in order to qualify for the U visa, you have to fall into the purview of certain crimes, right? Victims of certain crimes. Oftentimes you don't realize, for example, someone do a hit and run on you, and they pretty much kind of block you to get out of your car, for example. The car can be considered as a deadly weapon and things like that. I'm not saying every case of hit and run will fall into that category, but ultimately you can find a situation where you can use a hit and run, for example. And then many times also people will get mugged and things like that, but they don't realize the person had a knife, a deadly weapon on them, or a gun. Of course, a gun is straightforward, but you can ultimately, this is where we can dig deeper. And also we had situations where the police doesn't report certain small facts that can help in the U visa. For example, they might not report that, or they forgot to report that the person had basically the culprit, the accused, the suspect had some kind of weapons on them, or certain things like that. And that really makes a difference in a U visa. So you can always go back and ask for correction and things like that. And also, depending on the statute of limitations, a case can be reopened, right? If you go and help the police. Sometimes people are scared, and many times immigrants who are undocumented will be scared to go and tell the police that they are victims of a crime. But the truth is that if they go and they help the police, and the police is helpful, it can actually help in getting them what we call a U visa. This is very, very common. The biggest fear that we see, people are worried to be deported. But in fact, it's the other way around. Ultimately, that's why you have to run it by an attorney. And this is where we can help you. And you can call us 510-742-5887. Also check our website, piralilaw.com. And also one thing which is which a lot of people don't realize is that when it comes to the U visa, not only we have to pass the first part, the second part, which goes to the USCIS, you have to still present the case. And then oftentimes we also have to prove that you suffered basically, for example, from a post-traumatic disorder and things like that. You have been emotionally affected by the event, and most people are, by the way. I'll say everybody is, right. If you get mugged or you get you're victims of a crime, you will ultimately see that you will have to basically kind of get the opinion maybe from a psychologist, a psychotherapist and things like that. So it's important that you call an attorney who's experienced in that. We have been doing U visas now, I don't know how many years, since probably since it came out really strong around 2006 and so, and we have been very successful. The only thing now with the U visa, there are so many applications that there is a delay. But ultimately, the effect of a U visa, what it gives you a deferred action. So once it's filed, it's accepted, with the USCIS, after we get the certification, you will fall into a deferred action. That means they will not be able to deport you and things like that. Then ultimately, it takes like 6 to 7 years now to get it. Once it's approved, you get a work permit. But one thing important people don't know, you cannot travel usually during that. There are exceptional circumstances. If you maintain some kind of other visa, for example, student visa or H1 visa, etc., you can travel on those. But once you get it, 3 years later, you are eligible to file for a green card. So it's an amazing thing that you get ultimately, and it also applies to people who entered unlawfully, EWI, unlawful entry. They don't use that anymore. You can also use that. So call us if you want us to assess the U visa. The number is 510-742-5887. And anything I told you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. And again, number 510-742-5887. This is Attorney Shah Pirali signing off from Newark, California. Thank you.